I have this sort of strange principle when it comes to life, and that is I really try my best to not get spoiled. And even though I try my best to not get spoiled, I still get spoiled. So that is why I have a rule to not avoid manual, boring labor when it shows up. Instead, I feel gratitude for the opportunity to remind myself of, times when I had to do this so much more. So I'm digging like a ramp here so that I can have an exit and an entrance for my motorcycle that I got the other day. And doing this digging, especially in nice weather, which is, a super luxury when it comes to digging, it sort of reminds me of when I did this for a living, and also when you had to do it in the military to, build. I don't know what it's called in English. You dig holes so you don't get shot at as easily. And I just find it amazing that I get to do this voluntarily for a couple of hours, and just remind myself of how lucky I am that I have an occupation these days that I enjoy so much more. And I do feel that a lot of people are too spoiled and too far off from, the natural way of being. Because if you think of it historically and biologically and whatever, we are so privileged when it comes to, money and having buildings and easy access to food and water and electricity and all of that. It's only been a thing like the last 200 years, it feels like. Even like 100 years ago, everyone basically had to, you know, do a lot of physical labor unless you were the top 1%. And I feel like some of the depression and meaning crisis comes from this, super comfortable lifestyle that we have, and just being so useless as human beings. I know, tons of people that would never pick up a shovel and dig for like 3 hours because it would be absolute torture, so far beneath them. And they never do anything else but work and then use that money to pay other people to do everything for them. And our entire being is based around doing things. Life is for the living, as they say, and what that means is that life is not possible to do without doing stuff. And our entire, brain hormone system is based on providing happiness for doing stuff. That's why, how dopamine works. Obviously, we have managed to circumvent the proper procedure of dopamine by, tons of other things like TV, drugs, porn, whatever. But the best way, the healthiest way to, feel better when it comes to dopamine is actually to do stuff. And doing, natural stuff, a shovel is not supernatural, but it is far more close to being a natural thing than, watching TV or eating ice cream or whatever. It's just so much better. And once you do it, it feels great. And for me, it's just a reminder to keep my feet planted on the ground, because I feel like the more spoiled you get, the more sensitive you get as well. There is this, theory in psychology which is called salutogenesis, which is basically that things don't hit you as hard if your life is great. But I don't know if I actually agree with this, because as your life gets easier and easier and easier and better, you actually get more and more and more sensitive. So, for an example, I've been in a position where I felt amazed at how, literally everything in my life was going absolutely perfect. And the slightest deviation from this would just completely mess up my mood. I've also been in the opposite position several times where, my God, everything goes wrong. Every, area in my life is absolute garbage. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But then, you get tough skin and things don't affect you nearly as much. So I do have a problem with that theory, even though it is a good theory overall. But you really need to make sure to get your feet on the ground every chance that you get, because you will appreciate your comfortable life so much more if you remind yourself and think about how things could have been. If you were, born a peasant or a farmer 300 years ago, your life would be not a nightmare compared to what you have now, because I think in a lot of ways they were happier back then. But, practically, functionally, forget about cars and TVs and phones and internet and, anything else but physical labor, basically. But, also community and stuff like that. But don't make other people do these things for you if you can do them yourself. It is really a blessing and something to be grateful for when you get the opportunity to, come down to earth a little bit and just relax and do stuff yourself and feel good about it. Anyway, that is all for Psychology Every Day, day 59. Have a great day, everyone, and please like and subscribe.